Hey, good evening, and welcome to Fridays by the Fire. I am your host, Sandy Best Life Jones. So good to be back with you again for another Friday. Ooh, I don't know about you, but I had a so-so week. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't awesome either. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it was just kind of like some days were, really good, and other days were really challenging. I thank God for the weekend. I thank God for my job. I thank God for the ability to serve my community. But this week was a little taxing. So tonight means a lot because I love talking with you guys and sharing, what's on my heart, what's going on in my life. And tonight I want to talk to you about the carnivore journey that I've been on. If you watched the show last week, you know that I did a show called How I Lost 86 Pounds Eating Meat. Well, tonight I want to go a little bit deeper. And because I think when it comes to carnivore, people online will show you like the before and after pictures. And I'm going to show you before and after pictures too. And they'll show you the grocery hauls and the steaks and what they eat, the scale victories. But there are so many things people don't tell you about what this carnivore lifestyle actually does emotionally, mentally, socially, and spiritually to your life. Now, before we get started, I just want to say this. I am not a doctor. I am simply sharing my own personal experience and what I have learned along the way doing the carnivore diet. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you speak with your doctor before you make any changes to the way you eat. Okay? All right, so go ahead and grab your water. I don't know if you want to grab a coffee this late in the evening, but hey, if that's what you do, go ahead. Grab your steak if you're a carnivore, and let's get into it. All right, point one. And this is the really, really, really important, one of the really important points that I want to make tonight. Your cravings do not magically disappear like as soon as you go carnivore. It's one of the biggest lies that people tell. If you hear somebody say that, it's not true. The cravings do not magically disappear. That was not my experience, not at first, because cravings are not always physical. Sometimes they're emotional. Sometimes your cravings are more habitual. Sometimes your body isn't hungry, your emotions are. And that's the part I had to really come to terms with. A lot of my emotional eating wasn't because I was hungry. It was because I was feeling an emotion that I didn't know how to express. And so I just reached for something to eat. And it's kind of like people who smoke cigarettes. The way they try to stop smoking cigarettes is to vape. I'm not here to debate vaping or because I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't do any of that. But I'm saying continuing the habit of putting that thing in your mouth that you used to smoke, even though it's not a cigarette now, it's a vapor or whatever. I don't even know what it's called. But it kind of helps you get through the cravings of wanting that cigarette. And so with me, I had to figure out what to do with what I thought were hunger pains. But they weren't hunger pains. It was an emotional thing inside of me that was happening. And going carnivore didn't get rid of that right away. It took a little time. So anybody who's gone carnivore that says, "Oh, my cravings left the next." I don't know anybody. If you hear anybody saying, "Here's what I do know to trigger eating," stress, really thirsty or even dehydrated, but you're not really hungry. So doing this kind of eating, this way of eating, carnivore to me is it's an elimination diet. So when you eliminate all of the other stuff that you normally eat, the carbs, the sugar, all of that, and you focus on beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, and that's all you eat, you're going to be able to tell what foods trigger your cravings and which ones decrease your cravings. And I have found out over the last almost 20 months that eating high protein, low carb decreases my cravings for sugar. It works for me. So now when I get ready to reach for something to eat, I ask myself, what am I actually feeding right now? Am I feeding an emotion or am I really hungry? And if I'm hungry, then I eat. But here's the thing, if I'm not hungry, I do not eat. So I can have a ribeye steak and 6 scrambled eggs with some cheese in it at noon, and I will not eat the rest of the day. And it's not because I'm starving myself, it's because I am not hungry. The protein in that steak and in those eggs and in that cheese has shut down my appetite. And so I listen to my body now. I don't just eat just to be eating. I let my body tell me if I'm hungry or not. And if I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm not hungry, I do not eat. Point two, you might grieve food emotionally on this carnivore journey. Now, this one surprised me. I'm not sure why, but most people don't realize, and I didn't realize, that food is attached to a lot of things. It's attached to memories, it's attached to celebrations, it is attached to family traditions, it's attached to your way of coping, it's attached to your reward system, and it's attached to emotional soothing. So when you stop eating certain foods, it can actually feel emotional. And you may not understand what I'm saying. I didn't understand it either. It took me a while, but what I realized was I wasn't hungry for cake. I was hungry for comfort. I needed to be comforted, and I didn't know how to comfort myself. So I reached for the cake, white cake with buttercream frosting to be exact. That was my favorite. So that's a whole different conversation. Food can very easily become emotional sedation. I found this out when I eliminated everything else and only focused on beef, bacon, butter, eggs, a little cheese. Um, and I also found out then when I started to remove those certain foods, my old feelings for food started to surface. And that's why this whole carnivore journey becomes bigger for me than weight loss. It was bigger than weight loss. This was about self-regulation for me. Learning how to regulate my own emotions and not regulating them by eating. It was hard. But what made it a little bit easier is that the way I was eating decreased my appetite and decreased my cravings. So it made it more bearable for me. I hope that makes sense. Point three. When you go on the carnivore journey, all of a sudden, all your friends and family become nutrition experts. Now, let's just talk about this. Let's talk about this. I'm telling you, the minute you say, I'm doing carnivore, everybody becomes a doctor, a nutritionist, a scientist, a concerned citizen. People will say that's too much meat. It can't possibly be healthy. How do you get your nutrients? I could never give up bread. And listen, everybody has the right to choose what works for their body. But what I learned is A lot of times, what people are doing is they are projecting their fears onto your discipline. And sometimes, when you get really consistent about what you're doing in your life, it makes other people uncomfortable. And what was really interesting to me too is that none of those people had anything to say about how unhealthy I was eating. But when I changed what I was eating, and they could very clearly see that the weight was coming off, my blood pressure was normal, the inflammation I was carrying in my body was gone. When they could very clearly see the change in my face, in my body, in my countenance, in my energy levels, they could very clearly see that. And they still questioned, why are you doing this? It can't be healthy. It can't be healthy. But when you saw me at the buffet eating uncontrollably, you were sitting there eating with me. So you kind of have to drown out that noise. You got to drown it out. And you just have to do what appears to be working for you. And that's what I did. My family will tell you, I took this transformation very, very seriously. And I stuck to what I said I was going to do. Beef, bacon, butter, eggs, a little cheese, salmon. That is it. That is all. And here I am, almost 20 months later, 86 pounds lighter, 12 sizes smaller. Because I took my health into my own hands and I didn't let other people project their fears onto me and cause me to second guess what I was doing for myself. And that can be difficult, especially with family. Now, I'm a single woman. I live alone, so I don't have to cook for other people. I only cook for me. But I've seen a family on YouTube with 6 children, a mom and a dad, and everybody in the house is carnivore. You can do a YouTube search for them. I can't think of their names, but if you put in family of 6 on carnivore, you will find them. I'm sorry, family of 8. Their children emulate what their parents do, and their parents switched to carnivore. So the children didn't know anything else to do but switch along with them so they could eat. Some of those children had some behavior concerns that mom and dad were worried about that they don't have anymore, because mom and dad took the sugar and the processed carbs out of their diet. So you really have to have made up in your mind that you are not going to allow the opinions of other people to dictate how you take charge of your life and your health. And that's what I had to do. And it's not always easy, but it's necessary. So then you have to ask yourself, am I going to put myself first, or am I going to worry about whatever everybody else is saying? The very people who sat and watched me eat myself into oblivion. But now they want to say something? I don't think so. We're not doing that. Point 4, the first few weeks can feel really weird. Now, nobody warned me about the headaches, the fatigue, that carb withdrawal. I'm telling you, y'all, I went through withdrawals. Like, I just wanted something sweet. The first 7 to 10 days, I wanted something sweet. And I had to give myself a pep talk every day. Every day, I had to tell myself, we got to do it this time. We got to do it different this time. We got to do it different this time, Sandi. We have to. Your life and your health depends on it. I knew what my blood pressure was. I knew where my weight was. I knew that by the end of my day, every day, my legs and my ankles were swollen. I knew that my back hurt. It just to walk hurt. It was painful. I'm the only one that really understood the level of pain that I was in. And I'm the only one that really understood my full condition. And so I had to be the one to say no to me when it came to sugar and processed carbs and fast food and all of the things that I used to love to eat. I just had to tell myself no. And I had to tell myself, if you can just get through today, tomorrow is a new day. And then tomorrow would come and I would say, if you can just get through today, tomorrow is a new day. And then tomorrow would come again and I would fix my steak and my eggs and I would drink my bulletproof coffee. And I would say, if you can just get through today, Sandi, if you can just get through today. And here I am almost 20 months later. And those pep talks, they paid off. Now, when you stop eating carbs and sugar like I did, pretty much cold turkey, you are going to experience headaches, fatigue, that carb withdrawal, the infamous keto flu, where you feel a little like you're coming down with something, but it's your body detoxing. So, try not to be alarmed. For some people, it's mild. For other people, it's really rough. It lasted about 7 or 8 days for me, but your body is adjusting. And this is where the thing that I wish people really understood before they start carnivore. Electrolytes matter when you go low carb with the way you eat. Hydration matters. Salt matters. And I think a lot of people quit too early because they think it's not working, but something in your body is adapting to this new way of eating. And so you have to give yourself time to adapt. That's why I tell people this should be a 60-day commitment, a 60-day investment in your health. If you decide to make the switch, you need to give yourself 60 days. If you really want to feel the results of removing the bulk of the sugar and the processed carbs that you eat, you got to give yourself 60 days. Now, then you got to ask yourself, am I worth the investment? Am I worth taking 60 days out of my life and changing what I eat so that I can start to feel better? So I can possibly bring down my blood pressure. So I can release this inflammation on my body that's making my joints hurt. Am I worth this 60-day investment? That's really what it is. That's what it boils down to. Am I worth the investment? I said to myself, yes, I am worth the investment. But you have to figure that out for yourself. I can't tell you if you're worth the investment or not. That's something that you have to ask yourself and then come to your own conclusion. Point 5, your relationship with hunger changes. Now, this was huge for me. I realized, you guys, that I used to eat constantly. Like, I was eating 5 or 6 times a day. Now, when I started carnivore, I was working in the office. I work from home now, but when I started 19 months ago, almost 20 months ago, I was working in the office. And so my job is pretty fast paced. It can be really stressful. So I had a drawer full of food at my desk. I always had food at my desk. But then there were restaurants all around me. And so before I got to work, I would stop and get breakfast. And breakfast was usually a breakfast sandwich from somewhere, probably 2 breakfast sandwiches. The fried potatoes or French fries or whatever I felt like I wanted to eat. I remember I used to eat French toast sticks from Burger King. Like the nastiest thing you could possibly think of. That's what I would eat every single morning. And while I was sitting there eating breakfast, I'd be thinking about lunch. What am I going to have for lunch? Lunch was usually a triple from Wendy's. I'm not joking, y'all. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you this picture so you can see. When you see this picture, you're going to understand what I mean when I say I was so sick. I was sick. The picture on the top right and the picture on the bottom right, that's me in 2024 before I started carnivore. 280 some pounds. I was so sick and I was in so much pain. Every part of my body hurt because I had so much inflammation in my body. The picture on the left is me in April of this year, last month. And I'm telling you, after about 8 or 9 days on carnivore, I could feel the inflammation leaving my body. I didn't have sciatica issues anymore. I didn't have back pain anymore after just 8 or 9 days. My legs didn't hurt. My feet didn't hurt. My head did not hurt every morning when I woke up. I woke up with a headache every morning for years because I had eaten so many carbs before I went to bed the night before. And you can really see it in the top right picture. I was very sick. I was very unhealthy. I was sad. I was depressed. I felt like I was never going to get well because I had tried every diet known to man and I just couldn't stay with it. And the reason I couldn't stay with it is because I wasn't eliminating the right foods. But carnivore helped me understand that I did not need plants, that I did not need fruit. What I needed was some protein in my body and the least amount of sugar and the least amount of processed carbs possible. When I made that discovery and it clicked in my head, and after day 9, I could get up out of bed and not be in pain. I knew I was going to make it the rest of the way. I knew it. And I kept going. Was it easy? No. But my friend Dr. Glenda Shepard says staying unhealthy is hard. Getting healthy is hard. Choose your heart. I chose the difficult road of regaining and reclaiming my health. That's what I chose. So this opportunity is just like any other opportunity. It's your choice. It's your decision, just like it was mine. I can't tell you what to do. I can't make you do anything. Nobody can make you do anything. And this is what I want, family members to understand. You trying to police a grown person's food is insulting. It's offensive. It's not your place. It's all right to tell the person that you love that you are concerned about their health. But to police what they eat, to constantly make comments about what they eat, it's offensive. Just like people who see me now, who come up to me and say, "Oh, you need to go eat. Oh, you need to eat. What do you mean you don't eat vegetables? You need vegetables." No, I don't. Clearly now I know what I need to be eating. So I just want people to be cognizant of the way they speak to people that they say they love. It's all right to love them, but remember that they are adults and they have their own choices and their own decisions to make. And if they decide to start carnivore or keto or the Mediterranean diet or whatever they decide to do, just be supportive. It's not always necessary to share your opinion because at the end of the day, it's their decision. It's their body and it's their health. But I realized that I was constantly snacking, nibbling, sipping, crunching, treating myself, rewarding myself. And it took me eliminating probably 80% of what I normally would eat, probably 90%, to really see how much and what all I was eating. It was shocking. It was shocking, y'all. But I had to tell the truth to myself about myself. And once I finally did that, sticking to this way of eating, this lifestyle got a lot easier. Carnivore also helped me recognize that there's a difference between true hunger, emotional hunger, and stimulation. I wasn't always hungry. Sometimes I was just used to constantly consuming something, constantly eating something. And honestly, that realization spilled over into other parts of my life too, because sometimes we overconsume with food, entertainment, social media, relationships, just flat out noise. And we never sit still long enough to ask, what do I actually need? Like, what do I actually need? Do I need this cupcake? Or do I need some water? Am I dehydrated? Am I thirsty? Am I worried about something? Is something bothering me? Am I scared? Am I scared about something? We got to get in the habit of asking ourselves why the emotion that's coming up is coming up. What is this? Why am I feeling this? That's what I had to do. I had to start asking myself, why? Okay, what's going on here? Before you reach for what you would typically reach for, what's going on in your body? What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your spirit? What's troubling you? Stop and ask yourself that before you pick up whatever that food is that you're about to eat. Point 6, weight loss is not always linear. This is important because social media can make people feel really discouraged. Because some weeks you lose weight, some weeks you stall, some weeks the inflammation shifts, some weeks your hormones get to talking, especially for women. And I had to stop obsessing over daily fluctuations and focus on consistency, focus on the healing that was happening in my body, focus on my increase in energy, my decrease in inflammation. My sleep got better. My mental clarity was so much better. So much better. So I had to start focusing on that. And what I did to not obsess about the scale is I decided that I would only weigh myself once a month. And I still do that to this day. I weigh myself once a month. Tomorrow's my weigh-in day, the 16th of every month. I do not weigh myself every week. Some people weigh themselves every day. I can't do it. I can't. I will obsess. And I know this about me. So I don't even go there. Once a month, the 16th, every month. Whatever that scale says, wonderful. If I haven't lost any weight, it's okay. If I gained a couple pounds, it's okay. If I've lost weight, that's even better. But I also pay close attention to how my clothes fit. And I noticed this, and I was talking to my sister and my daughter about this, that there have been many weeks when the scale didn't move, but my clothes were bigger. And they were like, yeah, you're losing inches. So, that happens. So I would say, do your best not to obsess about the scale and focus on how you feel in your body, in your mind. How do you feel? I can't tell you how often to weigh yourself. That's really up to you. But for me, once a month is enough. I don't really care what's going on the rest of the month. That one day is cool. I have a benchmark. I have a goal to work from. So make up your own mind about how often you want to weigh yourself. But just know that There's gonna be shifts. You're gonna have stalls. You're gonna lose weight. You're gonna gain weight. You know, inflammation makes your weight go up and down. So try not to get too invested in that. Try not to get too obsessed with that. Point 7, carnivore can increase your confidence. And I'm not just talking about your appearance. There's something really powerful. And hear me when I say this. When you start to keep the promises that you make to yourself, there's something powerful about that because you can begin to trust your word to yourself. I could not trust my own word to myself because I had started and stopped so many diets. I didn't trust myself. So I know the people around me did not believe that I was going to follow through with this. I know they didn't. Now, they love me too much to tell me that, but I know they did not believe I was going to follow through with this. And they definitely didn't believe I'd be here 20 months later and just 22 pounds from my goal of 185. I know they didn't believe that. I didn't even believe it. It wasn't until I actually started doing it that my belief in myself increased. So there's something powerful about keeping promises to yourself. There's something powerful about developing self-discipline, honoring your body, and seeing yourself follow through with what you said you were going to do. This is what changes your confidence too. It's not just the way you look. Now, the way you look changes your confidence too. Now, I ain't gonna lie. It does. You start to lose that weight and you got to start buying new clothes. That changes your confidence too. But just the mere fact that you kept your word to yourself and you are exercising the discipline that it takes to change your lifestyle, not just your diet, but to change your lifestyle, that will increase your confidence too. You start to trust yourself differently. And, you know, honestly, sometimes weight loss isn't just physical weight, it's emotional weight, it's shame. I carried a lot of shame, because I thought that my weight was a reflection of my love that I had for myself. And it wasn't. I had an addiction. I was addicted to sugar. I was addicted to carbs. That's what it was. It wasn't just physical weight. It was letting go of the hopelessness that I was feeling, the exhaustion, the self-neglect. That's why this journey was so emotional for me, because it helped me start to really take care of myself in every way, on every level. It wasn't just, not eating this or not eating that, but I just started to care about myself more. And I think that came from me being able to trust my word to myself. I just started to care about myself more. And that helped me to keep going. And it's helped me keep going. And it will help me continue to keep going. And it's been a very emotional journey for me. There were times when I would be at work and I would go to Wendy's and I would buy just like 3 burger patties with cheese, no bread, no condiments, no fries, no nothing, just 3 burger patties, maybe some mustard because mustard doesn't have any carbs. And I would sit in my car and I would cry, eating what I knew I was supposed to be eating. But I would cry because I wanted something sweet. But I said, no, I'm going to keep my word to myself. Because nobody else would have known if I would have went and got something sweet. Nobody would have known. But I would have known. And finally, I was important enough to myself to say, no, we're not doing that. We're going to eat the way we know we should be eating. And if we can just get through today, tomorrow is a new day. And that's what I did. I didn't turn my back on myself this time. I didn't lie to myself about what I was eating. I told the truth. And it's helped me get where I am today. Point 8, eating out gets a little complicated. Now, this is complicated because going out to eat becomes like an Olympic sport, like, because you're asking questions, or let me say I ask a lot of questions about the food, how it's prepared, no bread, no sauces. I want to know, what do you cook your steak in? Are you cooking it in a seed oil, or is it cooked in butter? Is it cooked in beef tallow? I ask the questions. And usually wait staff is really good about accommodating me. And I don't eat out very often, so I don't have this issue a lot. I cook. I don't eat out very often. I can't even say. I can't even say once a month, really. I cook. And I cook because I need to know what's in my food. But when you go out with your friends and your family, their first inclination is to say, "Oh, girl, a few fries ain't gonna hurt you. Girl, just go ahead and eat it." I'm telling you, once you become intentional about what you put in your body, and once you see how eating a different way helps you feel better in your body, you're not going to want to go backwards. You're not going to be so easy to go backwards. And I feel like that level of awareness is a blessing. It's been a blessing in my life to be aware of what I'm eating, to care enough about Sandi to ask these people what is in this food. That's been a blessing in my life. It's really shown me, yes, you can care about yourself. You can take better care of yourself if you want to, if you decide to. And I decided to. So if I have to say, I would like my steak cooked this way, then I'll just say it. And people, the wait staff, the cook, or whoever, they're usually really good about accommodating. And if not, I'll stay home and I'll cook for myself. I don't have a problem doing that. Point 9, carnivore may expose emotional patterns. Now, stay with me now. This is deep. Because when food is no longer your emotional support system, you start to feel your feelings. So, you can't stuff them down with food anymore when you decide to start telling yourself the truth about yourself. So those feelings of stress, loneliness, frustration, burnout, grief, and anxiety, you got to feel it, because you cannot heal it until you allow yourself to feel it. Or I should say, this is what was true for me. And what I found out is food was helping me avoid a lot of things. Like, it was helping me avoid myself in general. And coming to that realization was really uncomfortable for me. But it was also the catalyst to my healing. Because now I finally deal with the root cause of the issue instead of just soothing the symptoms of the issue or the dis-ease. So my 10th and final point, I want to tell you that this journey is bigger than food. And if you've gotten this far and you're enjoying this content, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video. I really appreciate it. So, this journey is bigger than food. This is probably the biggest thing I wish I'd known, because carnivore didn't just change my plate. It changed my discipline habits. It changed my awareness about who I am as a person, as a woman. Again, it changed my confidence and my energy levels. Again, it changed the way I care for myself. And I kept telling myself, and I keep telling myself, I don't have to be perfect because I'm not changing the way I eat to punish myself. It's not just about trying to become skinny to make me feel like I deserve love or whatever. You know how we feel sometimes. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. This is more about learning how to honor your body better. That's the real transformation. When you learn how to honor your body better, that's when you know transformation is happening. When you finally say to yourself, nobody is going to esteem me higher than I esteem myself. That's when you know you're ready for change. So if you've been curious about the carnivore diet, maybe this is your sign. Just to simply start learning more about it. And if you've already started, give yourself some grace. Healing takes time, discipline takes time, transformation takes time. But every healthy decision that you make matters, whether it's about what you eat or who you allow to occupy space in your life, whether it's about how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you treat other people, whatever it is. If it's moving you towards a healthier you, it matters. And change like this only comes about one day at a time, one healthy, responsible decision at a time. And I just know this to be true because I am doing the work. I'm doing the work now. That picture on the right was me in, I think, May of 2024. Picture on the left is me on Mother's Day this year. Such a huge transformation. I'm smiling in both pictures, but I'm only happy in one. I knew what I needed to do to camouflage my depression, my unhappiness. I knew how to walk into the room and make sure everybody thought everything was all right. Nobody knew. Nobody really knew what I was going through. I didn't talk about it. I journaled it. I got a whole bunch of journals with a whole bunch of stuff in them that I'm turning into songs because I still journal every day. I've been journaling since I was a kid. And so I wrote it down, but I never really talked about it. But that girl on the right, she was really sad. But I've given her permission to fade to the background. I've learned the lessons that I needed to learn from her. And now I'm moving on in my new body, with my new mindset, with a new level of respect for myself, with a new level of honor for myself. I don't beat myself up. If I eat something that has sugar in it, okay. We gonna enjoy it while we eating it. I have been having this thing with fruit snacks lately. I don't know where this has come from. I don't know, but I have this thing about fruit snacks. And so I said, are you gonna beat yourself up about a little pack of fruit snacks? Or you're gonna eat these fruit snacks and be like, okay, whatever. So 98% of what you eat is carnivore, and this little 2% is this pack of fruit snacks. So I don't beat myself up about stuff. I just I just remind myself that I'm human and that this way of eating is my lifestyle now. So I'm not really worried about a pack of fruit snacks. I don't beat myself up about that anymore. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for a second chance at life, for another opportunity to treat my body right, to treat my mind right, to love on me the way I deserve to be loved, to feed my spirit what gives me peace. And I've gotten to the point where food is not on my mind 24/7 anymore like it used to be. It's what I use to fuel my body. I don't live to eat. I eat to live now. And I 100% believe switching over to a carnivore way of eating is why I am the woman that I am today. It's why I'm in almost the best shape of my life because I switched to the carnivore lifestyle. I 100% believe that. I've tried every diet. This is the only one that worked for me. Doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, but I'm telling you, it worked for me and it is working. And I'm going to keep walking every day and I'm going to keep eating my beef, bacon, butter, eggs, a little salmon, a little lamb, a little cheese. I'm going to keep drinking my gallon of water every day. I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to get to 185. I got 22 pounds to go. I'm almost there. I'm not going to stop now. I feel too good. So I hope tonight's episode of Fridays by the Fire was informational for you. I would say do your homework. I would say do your research. That's what I did. I went on YouTube. I found Dr. Ken Berry. I found Dr. Anthony Chafee. I found the Steak and Butter Gal. Several other carnivore, what I call experts with air quotes. And they helped me. They really, really helped me understand what this is, why it works, and then how to get started. So that's what I would say for you that are curious about, if you can sustain this kind of lifestyle. And sometimes people say, well, isn't it expensive? I don't spend nearly as much money as I was spending eating fast food 3-4 times a day. I don't. So I think that's a myth. So I'm here to bust that myth. It's just not true. It's just much simpler for me. It's just so simple. I don't have to wonder what I'm going to eat. I don't wonder what I'm going to eat. I don't stress about what I'm going to eat. I don't obsess about what I'm going to eat. I cook my food the night before or the morning. When I get up in the morning, I cook what I'm going to eat for the day. I already know what I'm going to eat because I eat pretty much the same thing every day. Now, some people can't do that. I am a creature of habit, so I can eat the same thing every day, and it does not bother me at all. So if you need a little variety, but you still want to do carnivore, you're going to have to get creative. And I would say go on YouTube and find the really good carnivore recipes. But I don't need all that fancy stuff. Just give me some beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, a little cheese, some salmon, and some lamb a couple times a month, and I'm good. So thank you for joining me tonight for another episode of Fridays by the Fire. In the meantime, y'all be good. We're going to go out with my song that I wrote. It's called I Am Enough. And I want to make sure that you know it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter your educational level. It doesn't matter your relationship status, your socioeconomic status. None of that matters. What matters is how much you love you. I want you to know that you are enough. God bless you. I'll see you next time.
Don't you worry about what tomorrow holds. Birds still get their breakfast, and flowers still unfold. So I'm laying it down, this heavy little crown. If you feed the sparrow, you cover me now. I'm breathing again, I'm letting it go. You know what I need before I know I am enough, enough, enough. Held in your love, your love, your love. Seek first the kingdom, love will come in time. So I trust you now, I trust you now. Lead me somehow, lead me somehow. Today is enough, my life is in your hands. I used to chase to win, thought they owed me more. Tried to force the door till you opened my eyes. Show me I matter. I am the prize. No more fear in the dark, no more running away. Showered with mercy, covered in grace. You know my secrets, still love who I am. So why would I panic when I'm in your plan? So I'm laying it down, this heavy little crown. If you feed the sparrow, you cover me now. I'm breathing again, I'm letting it go. You know what I need before I know I am enough, enough, enough. Held in your love, your love, your love. Seek first the kingdom, love will come in time. Ooh, I trust you now, I trust you now. Lead me somehow, lead me somehow. Today is enough, my life is in your hands. Ain't crying no more if you close that door. Close that door, it was never my door, never my door. Look at the field, look at the birds. You were faithful then, always put me first. I don't chase what fades, I choose what remains. I'm covered in grace, trust in your word, seeking your face. I am enough, enough, enough. Held in your love, love, love. Seek first the kingdom, love always comes on time. I trust you now, I trust you now. Lead me somehow, lead me somehow. Today is enough, my life is in your hands. Yeah, I'm enough, orders my steps. Yeah, I'm enough, he knows what's next. Seek first, I rest, no stress. I know my life is in your hands.